It is a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks are striking 13. Welcome to London, the chief city of Airstrip 1. The hallways smell of boiled cabbage. The 19th century houses are decaying, patched with cardboard and corrugated iron, sitting under a harsh blue sky. Everywhere you go, an enormous face with a heavy black mustache gazes down from the walls, its eyes designed to follow you. Inside the apartments, a telescreen broadcasts a constant stream of propaganda, while simultaneously recording every sound and movement in the room. There is no off switch. Citizens are forced to live in a perpetual state of performance. Every breath is scrutinized. An unconscious look of anxiety or a nervous tic can be classified as a face crime, resulting in sudden arrest and execution. Oceania's physical environment is a mechanism for induced paranoia. Every decaying street and unblinking screen works to sustain a state of total psychological attrition, exhausting the individual's capacity to maintain a private internal life. To escape the surveillance, an outer party member named Winston Smith finds a shallow alcove in his apartment, just outside the camera's range. He takes out a blank book, dips a real metal pen into ink, and begins a diary. Oceania has no formal laws, but Winston knows this act carries the penalty of vaporization. People who anger the party are erased from existence. He risks torture and death simply to preserve his own memory and maintain a grip on objective reality. The state controls the physical world absolutely. The only remaining refuge is the human mind, but the party has a system to breach that too. The entire apparatus of government in Oceania is divided into 4 massive pyramidal structures of glittering white concrete that tower 300 meters into the air, dwarfing the rotting streets of London. This grid represents the 4 institutions, the ministries of peace, plenty, truth, and love. Look at what they actually do. Peace wages perpetual war. Plenty oversees starvation. Truth manufactures lies. And love is where they torture you. To accept this reality requires a mandatory psychological conditioning called doublethink. Citizens are trained to hold 2 entirely contradictory beliefs in their minds simultaneously, and accept both of them as absolute truth. The Ministry of Truth systematically dismantles objective facts. By constantly recalling and rewriting daily news and historical records, the state erases the past, stripping citizens of any independent standard to judge the reality of the present. The state hijacks baseline human emotion. Every day, workers assemble in front of the telescreen for a mandatory broadcast known as the 2 minutes hate. The ritual features a hideous, grinding screech and images of enemy armies. It artificially triggers an ecstasy of fear and vindictiveness, stripping away individual empathy and melting the citizens into a screaming, grimacing mob. By bottling up natural human instincts and redirecting them into state-sanctioned rage, the party weaponizes emotion. Anger becomes an abstract tool, swooped from one target to another like the flame of a blowlamp. While the hate controls emotion, the party must also govern logic itself to prevent intellectual rebellion. This is Newspeak, Oceania's official language. Unlike normal languages, Newspeak shrinks. The dictionary gets thinner every year, systematically severing nuanced words from the vocabulary. The goal is to narrow human thought until thought crime is literally impossible to conceive. Without words, you cannot rebel. Without the linguistic tools to express dissent, the concept of individual freedom ceases to exist. Winston's secret rebellion inevitably ends in the windowless cellars of the Ministry of Love. Here, during an endless routine of interrogation and torture, an inner-party official named O'Brien reveals the core motive behind the state. Totalitarian regimes historically claim they are imposing a temporary dictatorship to guide the masses toward a utopia. The party drops that illusion. They seek power entirely for its own sake. True power, O'Brien explains, means asserting control by making others suffer. It is the ability to inflict pain and humiliation. It is tearing human minds to pieces and putting them back together in shapes of the party's choosing. The physical and psychological traps we've explored serve a single, terrifying objective. The perpetual suffering and subjugation of humanity is the end goal itself. The party's vision for the future of humanity is simple: a boot stamping on a human face forever. Death is not an escape in Oceania. Before Winston is allowed to die, the party insists on curing him, hollowing out his ego and overriding his mind until nothing remains but genuine love for Big Brother. George Orwell published this novel in 1949 as an explicit warning against the surrender of objective reality to authoritarian rule. Once a state successfully controls the words we use, the history we remember, and the truth we perceive. The human soul is permanently erased, leaving only absolute power behind.